Oh, hello there. You're there. I was just putting on my jewelry over here, minding my own business. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing so well. Is this little totem sweater not the cutest little thing ever? I really think so. I am obsessed with it, and just draping it over my shoulder is the most luxurious experience ever. So, you know, we're not talking about this totem sweater today, but I thought I would just shout it out because it's a Swedish brand. I'm a Swedish girly. This sweater is just everything. What we're talking about today are my Chanel bags. I am conflicted on this topic, but I thought I would review them. I have a single flap in jumbo and I have a double flap in the 2.55 or the small style. Both are vintage. We're going to talk about a little bit of new versus vintage Chanel and the jumbo versus small because those are the Chanel bags I have. And on my channel, we review bags in 5 sections. An overview of the bag, wearability, what fits inside, how I bought the bag, pros and cons, then I round all that up at the end for a summary to let you know who I would recommend this bag, or I mean in this case, these bags to. My first Chanel bag comes in this lovely little vintage dust bag. This is like my pride and joy. I love this bag. I don't wear it a lot, to be completely honest, but I bought it a long time ago. We're not gonna get into that right now, but I keep it in the dust bag. I keep it with this little felt thingy so that the straps or the chains don't like weigh down into the bag and create marks or imprints. But here she is. Here she is. The beauty has arrived. My Chanel small double flap in lambskin leather and the actual gold-plated hardware, which they did back in the day, but they don't do that now. Chanel, what are you doing? That rant is for a little bit later on in this video, but nonetheless, I don't know if you saw, but I keep the chain basically stuffed in the bag so that I don't have the entire chain just like hanging out on the bag, you know, when I store it. She is absolutely gorgeous. On the front, you obviously have the closure with the CC with the actual little stamp that shows that it's gold-plated. To open it, you obviously turn this little thingy, the turn lock, and then on the inside you have this little pocket with this little zipper. I don't think I've ever opened this zipper, so that was a journey. In here, I mean, I don't keep anything. I think wasn't this where Coco Chanel kept her love letters or something, or was that back here? I'm not sure, but I don't keep anything in this small pocket or in this little compartment behind the double flap. You then open up the second little flap here and you have this gorgeous maroon color with the CCs once again. You have the Chanel, you have the little lipstick holder, you have 2 little compartments, then you have like the main compartment and a little compartment in the front, and I keep it stuffed obviously for her to keep her shape. There we go. She's just maroon on the inside and chocolate brown on the outside, and then on the back you have this little pocket. On the side you have the kind of folded sides, and on the bottom you just have a quilted lambskin leather bottom with no feet. So that's a little Chanel classic flap as a quick overview in the small style in the double flap format. Let's bring out the jumbo for you to get an overview of the single flap. My single flap I have right here. I have her stored in her box. She still has the like Chanel paper. Clearly I don't use this on a daily basis, but you know, I have her stuffed in here, in her little stuff. I have her stored in here, in her little dust bag, which then leads to Chanel jumbo with some tissue paper on her. Once again, to not have the chains like weigh down and create imprints on the actual leather. Obviously, once again, quilted. This one is in Caviar. This one is produced, I don't know which year, but before 2009, which was when Chanel stopped producing single flaps. And now we get into the single flap topic. This one, unlike the other one, does not have like a second little flap that you have to faff around with to open the bag. I wanted a single flap jumbo because I know double flap jumbos are so heavy and they don't have as much capacity as a single flap. We have like I said, once again, how many times can I say single flap in one video? Maybe you should take a shot every time I say that, or maybe you shouldn't. Once again, I don't want liability for any drunk people, but maybe shot water or something, but this is a single flap. There you go again. Another shot. You have the leather on the inside, it's just a big compartment. You have one zippered compartment as well. I don't think I've ever opened this one once again, but here you have a zippered compartment. Can you see that? It's gonna be impossible for you to see. On the zipper. Guys, this is fabulous. On the zipper there, it actually says Chanel. And on the other side of the zipper, you have the... Wait, where did you go? You have the CCs. Can you see that? How fabulous. Which is also why I wanted a vintage Chanel. Because now, instead of the actual Chanel branded zipper, what do we have? We have YKK zippers in Chanel. Like $9,000 Chanel bags with YKK zippers, which, I mean, YKK, sure, it's a great zipper brand, but you can find that on like H&M jeans. H&M jeans zippers should not be in $9,000 Chanel bags, in my opinion. So yours truly is not shopping new Chanel, only vintage Chanel for me. She is a big bag. She has, once again, like the folded corners or sides to her. She has the big pocket in the back. She has, like the other one, just a leather bottom with the quilted detailing but no feet. Obviously the shoulder strap with the leather in it. This one has silver hardware, the other one obviously has gold hardware. Here they are together. Obviously the small one is a lot smaller than the jumbo one, which kind of says in the title, but let's chat about wearability. Depending on your lifestyle and actual, like, personal style, these bags can be both very wearable or not very wearable at all. I find them not super wearable, to be completely honest. Like this small one, I can crossbody. It's pretty short when I crossbody it. I do really value wearing my bags crossbody because I walk everywhere. I live an actual human being life. I'm not an influencer that's just sipping coffee all day, every day in Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower, you know? I have errands to run, I have stuff to do, I have people to see, I have places to be, and I appreciate crossbody bags. I do wear her sometimes casually, but for me it's a pretty dressy bag, which in turn means that it's not super wearable because I don't do events every day of my life, you know? She is a special occasion bag. She is so pretty. She goes very well with like my style narrative and aesthetic. So for that, she's very wearable. For like actual like functionality, she's not super wearable because like functional wise, like opening this up, then trying to get into like grab your items, it's a little bit of a faff, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am willing to put up with a faff because a Chanel classic flap is so, like it says in the title, classic, chic, classy, gorgeous, all of the above. She is fetch, you know? Gretchen stopped trying to make fetch happen, but we will continue to try, you know? The jumbo. This one I wear from time to time when I have stuff to carry, people to meet, places to be, people to see, whatever. I cannot crossbody. If I crossbody this, she like hangs very, very low, like borderline touching my knee kind of low. I wear this one like only over my shoulder. Look at that totem sweater making a reappearance. This is the only way I wear this bag. I think it's the only and the chicest way. I mean, of course you can like hold it in your hand, but I think this is not a top handle, so I don't hold it in my hand. But in terms of actual functionality, I think this one is easier because I just have a single flap and then I can like get into like get my items, you know? So it's easier. She's more easygoing, both because of like the actual Caviar leather. It's more hard wearing versus the Lambskin. Now saying that, I don't really have signs of wear on any of them. Sure, like the sides have not folded perfectly, but also this is an old bag, so what do you expect, you know? On the Lambskin, I don't have signs of wear either, but I do take care of this bag and I baby it. I haven't really like moisturized the leather ever. Should I do that? Does anyone know? Now I'm gonna go on a tangent, but because, you know, with Hermes, you can send the bags into like their spa service and they will like polish the leather and touch up the corners and stuff. Like I have 2 Birkins, I have 2 Hermes Evelyns, and like if I need help, they send the bags to Paris and they like get it in for a spa service at Hermes. and you get all the help you need. Of course you pay for it, but still you get the help. With Chanel, there's no spa service. Like, how do I take care of my bags? I get no help at Chanel, which I think for buying these expensive bags, I mean, there should be a solid after-sale service available. Like, sure, I will pay for it, but I want the help. I think for wearability, sure, I can wear this one as crossbody, which makes it more wearable, but it's more like not hard wearing because of the lambskin leather. Not that I've had issues, but I baby this one. This one I don't baby. I cannot crossbody it, but it's easier to get in and out of. So this one gets wearability points because it's easy to get in and out of. It's like a carefree bag because of the caviar leather. This one gets wearability points because it's able to crossbody, right? But I think they serve two different purposes. For me, this is like a special occasion bag. This is special occasion, but not really as special because I wouldn't wear this to an event because it's such a big bag. Are you a Chanel girly? Or are you more like an Hermes girly? What's your preference? I would love to know. Or maybe it's not even Chanel versus Hermes anymore. Like, what's your brand? Which brand do you prefer? I obviously love all of the brands because I have a little bit of a collection. So I am a handbag addict, I'm not gonna lie, which is why I make handbag videos online. So if you like talking about handbags, maybe subscribe and stick around and be part of the Seedler family, please and thank you. The Chanel double flap small style I bought a long time ago, I think like 10 years ago at this point. She is produced in 1994, which was kind of why I was intrigued to buy her initially, because I am born in 1994, so we are clearly twins. She's aging with grace, a little bit better than I am. I know you don't have to comment, but I bought her from a luxury consignment shop in Stockholm, Sweden. The shop is called Affordable Luxury. They have such a nice collection of things, usually. Not sure at this current point in time because I haven't looked in a while because I'm on a low buy year, so I'm trying to not buy stuff, you know? But if you visit Stockholm and you want to go into like a luxury consignment shop where people are nice, they're helpful, it's a great collection of items, go in, browse Affordable Luxury in Stockholm. It's in Sturegallerian. It's cute. They have a website as well, but I bought this one in like, I think 2013, and I think for like around the 2000 to 2300 range. My memory does not date back 10 years, unfortunately, not when you get this old, you know? But I bought this bag a while ago. I think she's so cute, so classic, so timeless, and that's how I bought her. This one I got as a gift from my parents for my graduation from university. I obviously did not buy this one myself. I did, however, hunt it down because I knew I wanted this specific bag. So the jumbo, the caviar, the silver hardware, the single flap. You know, I had a very specific request for my gift. Obviously, my parents told me that I could choose a bag, so I chose this one. I think it was, I wanna say like 2,800 euros, something like that. Obviously, I didn't buy it, so I don't know the exact price, but from remembering what I hunted it down at, that was the price. I think they bought it in 2017. I've had this for a while. Obviously, it was produced before 2009, so it was already kind of a vintage bag at that point. Not really vintage, but at least pre-loved. Both of these were bought pre-loved, and like I said, pre-loved for me is the way to go when it comes to Chanel. I would definitely way rather recommend pre-loved or vintage Chanel bags versus new one. I mean, considering all of the videos that have started popping up on YouTube where people are like complaining about quality issues, like stitching not being perfect, like things not lining up as it should, like the flap being wonky, like the zipper breaking. I've seen so many videos. Obviously, I'm obsessed with watching handbag videos on YouTube. If you're here, I am assuming you do as well. My battery is flashing. Let me just change that for you. I don't like the direction of travel of all of these quality issues that we're seeing with Chanel. Obviously, with prices increasing as well. I mean, now a Chanel Jumbo double flap, granted, is more expensive than an Hermes Birkin, which honestly blows my mind. I don't think that is how the kind of tier list of bags should work in my mind. I will always think that an Hermes Birkin or an Hermes Kelly is superior to a Chanel Classic flap, but that's just how my mind works. I guess that's not the end-all be-all of Chanel versus Hermes, but that's just my opinion, you know, do with that what you will. But Chanel vintage pieces I think are gorgeous. I would not want to live without these bags in my collection because I think they're just gorgeous pieces. Obviously, these two are vintage. They are definitely aging with grace. I think if you buy a vintage Chanel bag, depending on what price you buy it at, obviously, but I don't think you will regret it because vintage Chanel is like an institution. Vintage Chanel is like a mood, a vibe, an aesthetic. Like you're buying into the history of the brand, you're buying into a piece that was created or like crafted years and years ago. With this one, can you imagine that this is from 1994? It's like legit a 29-year-old bag at this point, but she looks brilliant, she looks great, she's so beautiful. But with the new bags, I'm not as confident in recommending them. But vintage Chanel, I definitely have an appreciation for. I know people in general are getting more and more kind of keen on looking into the vintage Chanel section of the internet, I guess. But now I feel like we're getting into the pros and cons, which, I mean, it's not the planned part of this video, but we will get into what fits in these bags later. But just one more thing. On the vintage Chanel bags, like, do you see this luxurious caviar? Like on the newer Chanel Caviar bags, they're so shiny, they're so like unnaturally grained. There's this guy on like YouTube Shorts, I'm not sure if he's like on TikTok as well, but where he like deconstructs expensive bags. He deconstructed a Chanel Caviar. I was so impressed. I will link that in the description just because I think it was such an eye-opening experience. I'm talking about like a 30-second clip, like it's changed my life. But he was deconstructing a Chanel Caviar bag and the graining on the Chanel Caviar was fake. I mean, sure, like on Caviar leather, there is a little bit of this like graining all over it, right? But on the Chanel Caviar now, there was like such a thick coating of like color and like graining, fake graining, like graining that they put on for the bag to look like a Caviar leather bag, which I mean to me was just mind-boggling. Like, can't they even just invest in leather that looks like they want it to look? My mind is blown. I literally have no words, and that never happens. But this vintage one, I feel like the graining looks so natural. The sheen to the bag is so like delicious. Do you see this? It has like a natural sheen, but it's not like that plasticky sheen that you have on the new bags. But okay, I think we need to digress on this point for a little bit because now I want to talk about what fits in these bags. Usually, when I wear my little Chanel double flap in the smaller 2.55 size, it's kind of one of those like just phone and key and wallet kind of days. If you're a seasoned subscriber, you know that, I mean, obviously my phone is just an iPhone, but this is an iPhone 11 Pro, by the way. I have an iPhone 13 Pro as well, but I think they're the same size, so since this one fits, the other one will fit as well. But what I was saying, if you're a seasoned subscriber, you know that this little guy is my everything. This is my Louis Vuitton key and card holder. It is a key holder, but for me it's also a card holder because I have all of my keys in here, right? But what I also have are my cards in this little back compartment, right? So I just close this one up and I go and live my life with both my keys and my cards in this little slim little compartment thingy. So when I carry my little Chanel double flap 2.55 or small, when I carry that, I just bring these two things because times when I carry this is not really like a major outing, you know? I can also fit more things, but I usually don't. So as you can see, I have a lot of space left, but this is what I bring, you know? possibly a little hand sanitizer or a little lipstick or something, but I mean, this is usually what I pack. Because this bag, I don't like to overstuff. I just prefer to have it like with my little essentials, and that's it. Also, this bag is pretty heavy, so whatever you put in here, it will be quite a heavy bag, but like I said, that's usually just what I bring when I wear this bag. If I'm out on a bigger day, I bring this one if I want to wear a Chanel bag. And here, if we put these things in, like once again, my little phone and my key and card holder from Louis Vuitton, I mean, that takes up essentially no space. I also have a little emergency kit or a cosmetic pouch. It's just like a freebie that I got from Emma Hardy once when I bought their cleansing balm or whatever. The Moringa cleansing balm from Emma Hardy. Who remembers that? That was like a cult favorite on beauty YouTube. But when I put that in, I mean, in that one I have hand sanitizer, I have like lippies, I have a mask, I have... what do I have? I have snacks. I have everything in there. Then my bag is basically at the capacity I would pack it at because, once again, Chanel bags are pretty heavy. They're obviously all leather bags. So I know the double flap would be even heavier of this style, but when I pack these things, this is heavy. Obviously, this is something I only carry on my shoulder, and obviously carrying this on one shoulder, like on my one side of my body, not crossbody, that was a lot of words, but then it gets heavy. I'm like out of breath from holding this up. That's basically what I pack in this one, and I don't really want to pack more, you know, because I think this is quite enough. Obviously, you could squeeze more in there, but I don't really want to, you know, because I also don't want this bag to lose its shape. Not saying it would, but not saying it wouldn't, you know? Okay, we're losing the sweater. We have collateral damage. Where is she going? So, pros and cons. The cons of this bag. First off, the jumbo you cannot wear crossbody. This one, if you're bustier than me, which is not difficult, then this will also be awkward to wear as a crossbody bag. These are not crossbody bags, right? So if you are a person that likes to wear bags crossbody, then these are not the bags for you, which can be a con. If you are a person who just prefers to fling a bag over your shoulder and have it as a little, you know, shoulder moment, then it's a brilliant bag, which, I mean, honestly, I think this is a very chic way to carry bags, so do it that way you will. Obviously, also, like we spoke about, the kind of quality deterioration or even like chosen downgrades of materials they use, like removing the actual gold-plated hardware and just having gold-colored metal, not being gold, just like looking like gold, you know? That I think is not appreciated from my standpoint. I would prefer to have, like, especially on these kinds of expensive bags, I actually think it would make sense to still have gold-plated hardware, but obviously when scaling up production, producing more bags, like making it mass production versus like craftsmanship, then you will obviously have quality deterioration. I appreciate that will always be the case, but still, like the Hermes bags, for example, they're still handmade. This is not handmade anymore. So with that kind of deterioration of quality, that kind of leather thing that I spoke about, that is just ridiculous. And the YKK zipper that they have now instead of the Chanel branded zipper. Like all of that, for me, that's quality deterioration, and for me that's a con. Because when I buy these designer bags, obviously I collect designer bags. I have designer bags standing behind me, you know? I am not a novice when it comes to talking about designer handbags. Let's just put it like that. But when I see that kind of deterioration of quality, kind of pisses me off, to be completely honest, and when paying that amount of money, I would rather just skip buying the newly produced ones and go the vintage route, which I think is a pro in itself, going vintage. Going into the pros then, because I mean, obviously it's a timeless classic bag, like it says on the tin, you know? Chanel classic flaps will always be relevant. They will never be one of those bags that you will say, oh, that is so 2009, you know? Unless you're like a Chanel nerd and you see that it's a single flap and you're like, no, I don't like single flaps, I only like double flaps. But if that's you, I don't think we're friends anyway. No shade, and hashtags are not sorry, but you know. these bags will always be relevant. The fact that you can shop vintage and that you can find these like timeless classic pieces from like years and years ago, like this one that's produced in 1994 and she's this beautiful, you know? I think that's a pro in itself. I think shopping vintage or like pre-loved items is a vibe, it's a mood, it's an aesthetic, it's a lifestyle, you know? I think shopping vintage is great because, I mean, one, you're buying what's already produced, what's already out there. You're scooping up something that someone else didn't use or they want to like sell on to buy something else. So you're helping them like improve their collection in a way that suits them whilst you're scooping up something that might suit you, you know? So you're making the things that's already out in the world come into like actual use and be like actually appreciated for the things they are and get the wear that they deserve out of them. Also, versus the price in store, you can scoop them up like with a lower price tag, which I think is great because the prices of new Chanel at the moment, it makes me want to, I was gonna say it makes me want to cry, but it actually doesn't because I don't want to buy new Chanel. So for me, it's really not a problem. But for the people who want to buy new Chanel, I'm crying with you. I'm crying for you. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Who would I recommend these bags to? I think if you are someone who like appreciates Chanel, if you're someone who like also lives deep down in the luxury sphere, in the luxury community, in the luxury world of handbags, and you want a timeless classic piece that will always be relevant, will stand the test of time, if you buy vintage that will age with grace, I think a Chanel bag is for you. I don't think a Chanel bag is actually worth the price if you're just buying it to have a bag to carry your items. It's very similar to what I would say, or what I said about my Hermes Birkins in that review. I don't think Chanel classic flaps are worth the price, or Chanel bags at all actually, are worth the price if you only want to buy an kind of vessel for carrying things. Then I think you're better off just buying like one of those store plastic bags or paper bags or whatever you prefer for like 99 cents instead of buying like a $9,000 bag. But I think if you're watching this video, you're not just looking for something to host your items when you're out shopping. I think you're looking for a bag that will stand the test of time, that you will have in your collection for years and years. If you have children that you can pass down to, then you can pass down these bags to your children and they will be over the moon. Let me tell you, these bags are gorgeous. They're like heritage pieces for people that will appreciate them, you know? It's not just a vessel for carrying things, it's appreciating the brand, appreciating the like vintage craftsmanship. Now I'm not talking about the new bags, just the vintage ones, you know? And they will stand the test of time and stuff. So I think if you're a handbag addict and you're thinking about buying a Chanel classic flap, I don't think you can go wrong. I think they're, like I said, timeless classic bags that everyone appreciates. Even if it's just looking at them as you pass them by on the street, you know, I think they're gorgeous bags. So if you're a little bit like me, you're deep down in this luxury fashion community, you like collecting handbags, you like curating stuff that will last in your wardrobe and be those forever wardrobe pieces, then the Chanel classic flaps are for you, my friend. Like I said, I love Chanel classic flaps. I would not buy them new, I would only buy them vintage. I hope this gave you some additional clarity, some additional knowledge, some additional intel of a fellow luxury handbag addict on the Chanel classic flaps. What do you think? Are Chanel classic flaps worth the price? Would you buy them vintage? Would you buy them new? Do you have a Chanel classic flap? Do you want to buy one? Which one do you want to buy? Honestly, if you ask me, I would want to buy another one, but I would want to buy one in tweed. I think tweed classic flaps are so pretty. Like, there is no prettier bag in the universe. I have one on my wish list. I'm trying to manifest one in time for the next fall and winter season. Let's talk all about Chanel classic flaps in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time and space with me. And until my next video, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye. Bye.